buenas a todos, señores, señoritos, animales y lo que haya por ahí, que estamos en otro vídeo de Metal Gear Solid 3. Y vale, pues vamos a continuar. Vamos a ponernos un camuflaje óptimo, pero óptimo de cojones. Este de más 30 huele a que es el mejor, ¿eh? Perfecto. Y aquí... claro, no tenemos arma, es cierto. Así que hay que vigilar. Y mucho. Vamos a ir despacito. Ya tengo la comida llena, ¿eh? Aún así, tengo la barra... no la tengo llena, ¿eh? La barra. Vamos a ver si como algo. Una pitón. Estaba bastante buena. ¿Vale? Pregunté por su sabor, pero no obtuve respuesta. Hostia, lo del Marcor y el conejo... no voy a pillar eso. Vamos a esperar. Me da curiosidad. Ya probaremos el conejo y... Coño, ¿cómo que 30%? Ah, bueno, pues nada. Cago en tu madre, cabrón. Vale, no dice nada. Vale, quita, coño, el cuchillo. Ahí hay uno. Tengo 90%. Vale, levántate, joder. Vamos, Snake. Te noto tonto, tío. Muy tonto. Me acaban de reventar, ¿eh? Tengo sangre. Ven aquí, hijo de perra. Joder, ¿cómo empezamos? Vale, tranquilidad, ¿eh? Tenemos que sacarnos, supongo que una bala. Claro, aquí el camuflaje cambia. Cambia repentinamente, o sea, aquí no sirve absolutamente de nada ese camuflaje, tío. O sea, cada 2×3 hay que estar cambiándose el camuflaje. Voy a poner España. ¡Oh, oh, oh, oh! Pero cuidadito porque no tenemos para dormir. O sea que... ¿veis? Aquí el camuflaje otra vez menos 10, tío. O sea, no sirve para nada. ¿Qué cojones? Te estás riendo de mí, juego. A ver. A poner este otra vez. Espera, ¿debería sacarme la bala? Cura. Sufres de la herida de un disparo. Vale, no sé. Solamente tengo que utilizar la venda y desinfectante. Herida de un disparo. Astringente. Vale. Aún pone que sufro de la herida de un disparo. Pues debe ser... hostia, no debería... no tengo la bala dentro, que yo sepa. ¿No? Ah, pues sí. Vale, pues ya está. Tenía la bala dentro. Supongo que la podíamos haber visto. Ahí hay un capullo. A ver dónde sacamos un arma, tío. Ya sabéis que The Boss nos quitó el arma que teníamos. Esa mujer se aburría. A ver.
We've lost sight of the intruder, going into high alert.
Acknowledged. The enemy is still nearby. Pursue and engage him.
Vale, tranquilidad. Voy a intentar ponerme el detector de movimiento. rápido, ¿eh? Contéstame. Vale, lo he quitado rápido. Contesta.
When you walk on moist soil, your footprints.
Gracias. Eso me servirá para todo. Ven aquí, cerdo. Dame algo potente. Bueno, granadas chaff siempre pueden estar bien. Vale, dentro de este tronco hay algo. No. Vale, levanta, anda. No hay objetos por aquí. No. Inquietante, ¿eh? Jodidamente inquietante. Es que estamos en la misma zona que la misión virtuosa. Voy a ver si este capullo me deja algo más. Cuando tenía la herida de la bala, a lo mejor tendríamos que haber llamado. A lo mejor nos habrían dicho algo interesante. Vale, bueno, así se van a quedar de momento. Hasta que no tengamos una pistola que los duerma, esto se puede complicar. Dolinodod, hostia, vamos a la zona del puente, tío. Precaución. Detector de movimiento, prefiero el sonar, tío.
What the? Huh? Who's that?
Me ha vuelto a pillar. Madre mía, menos mal. Bien, Snake, joder. Orgulloso estoy, chaval. Hombre, aquí intentamos ir un poquito rápido, pero también quiero tomármelo con calma. Mirad allí, tío. Quiero pillar eso. Qué lástima no tener munición, Aquí, por cierto, hay algo, tío. Vete a saber qué coño había. Puedo volver a subir por aquí, creo. Bueno, ya se verá. Ahora hay que pasar por el puente, señores. Yo lo que sé que me está... Un momento, me está bajando la energía. ¿Por qué? Acaba de bajarme y no sé por qué. ¿Cómo suena, el fondo? Qué barbaridad. Vale, estas setas son una castaña, ya lo hemos comprobado. A ver, cuidado, no hay muchos animales por aquí. ¿Veis? Me pillan siempre antes de acercarme lo suficiente como para poder apuntarles con la pistola, tío. No entiendo, la verdad es que no lo entiendo. Vale, este pintamonas. Voy a intentar tirarlo. Me hace ilusión. Así que vamos a ir acercándonos. Y ¡pam! Venga, amigo. Esto es increíble, tío. Venga, va, coño. Adiós. Hostia, se ha quedado ahí. Hostia, se ha quedado ahí. Vamos a vigilar. Aquí hay cositas importantes, Ya tenemos que empezar a pensar sobre todo en la supervivencia. Provida. Uniforme gotas de agua. ¿Qué cojones es eso? Uniforme gotas de agua. Hostia, esto tiene que estar guapo, Sobre todo cuando estemos en el agua. Genial. Pues se ha quedado ahí abajo, Inquietante, la verdad. Ha desaparecido. Se habrá caído al agua, Tío, es un juego de hace 20 años. Todavía no lo sé, pero yo intuyo que el remake saldrá justo el mismo día que salió el original. 20 años después. Qué bonita historia, Qué bonita historia, señores. Vale, voy a intentar hablar por codec, a ver qué me cuentan. De momento aquí parece que el camuflaje funciona. No, este seguro que no responde. Este seguro que no.
You've arrived at the factory, I
Correcto.
see.
Yeah, now to meet up with this Adam guy.
Good. Go to it.
So where is he?
We weren't given an exact location.
How about a time?
Nothing was specified.
A physical description?
I'm not sure.
How am I supposed to find him then?
You won't need to.
Huh?
He'll find you.
Lo sabía.
Why don't you try the room to the northeast where you met Sokolov? Adam might be in there.
Puede que sí.
Adam is a spy sent by the KGB to infiltrate Volgin's ranks. You'll need to be extremely careful in how you approach him.
Obviously. He can't let Volgin know he's meeting me.
That's right. Adam won't show up if you're being pursued by the enemy. Before you go to rendezvous with Adam, make sure you haven't been seen by the enemy. Meet up with him in normal phase. Got it? Thanks to last week's nuclear incident, the Soviet Union is now on secondary alert. We're one step away from a nuclear war.
DEFCON 2, huh?
In American parlance, yes. From what Western intelligence has been able to gather, the radical elements in the Soviet command are showing signs of impatience. They say we're on the brink of World War III here. And with Khrushchev's position getting weaker every day, I worry whether he'll be able to hold them back.
1 week.
Yes, America must eliminate the boss by its own hand to prove its innocence. There is no other way to resolve the crisis. Everything rests on your shoulders, Snake. Failure is not an option.
Qué bonito.
I know.
Qué bonito.
The Soviet intelligence community must be up in arms about the boss's defection. The great Voyevoda has abandoned America and embraced the Soviet Union.
Voyevoda.
Lamentable. Su
Apparently,
apodo.
that's what they call the boss behind the Iron Curtain.
Exacto.
It means warrior or mighty soldier in Russian. When used to refer to a woman, it means something close to Lady Knight. In Russia, where they've had a number of female emperors throughout their history, it's a term of great respect. Well, poetic in a way. The boss's exploits have made her name famous in the East as well.
Bueno, nos van contando historia
Major.
de The Boss.
Why did the boss defect?
I don't know, but I will tell you this. America is all too eager to get rid of her.
What do you mean?
She knows too many of our secrets. If she were to relay all the top secret information she knows to the Soviet bloc, it would put us at a severe disadvantage. It might even lead to the downfall of the West. Even if we survive, the boss is still too much of a hero to us. With her in the Soviet camp, we'd suffer a fatal loss of morale at home. There are even whispers that some of the less stalwart elements of the military might follow her example and defect themselves. I assume you're aware that since your last mission, several key figures within the CIA have been placed under house arrest.
Yeah.
The loss of the boss has been a painful one indeed.
What about you?
Me? I still can't believe it. As a comrade, I would have placed my trust in her before my own family. But now that I think about it, the boss always seemed to have an aura of mystery about her. I never would have expected it to manifest in this way, though. Oh, well, it won't do to get all misty-eyed about it. She's an enemy now, worthy of nothing more than our contempt.
Understood. Major,
Yes?
I was just wondering, why do they call you Zero?
What do you mean?
We go back a long ways, but I just realized I never asked you why you're called Zero.
Interesante
Want to know
pregunta.
where it comes from?
Yeah, if that's all right.
That's a bit nostalgic, really.
Nostalgic.
The first British intelligence outfit was established in 1909. The head of the Foreign Intelligence Division was a man named Mansfield George Smith Cumming. He was referred to simply as C after the first letter of his last name. Since then, out of respect for Cumming, the heads of the SIS have traditionally taken the name of C.
And James Bond's boss is called M.
That's right. I myself was once known as O.
And that's where Zero comes from?
Precisely. In another sense, though, it signifies a ghost, one whose true identity must remain a mystery, the primogenitor of the solo sneaking operation.
Is that so?
Snake, let's go over the controls for CQC one more time.
Bueno, estaré bien.
Press the CQC button once to throw a punch.
Eso lo
Press it
podríamos
repeatedly
intentar más,
to launch a
el dar
combo
puñetazos.
CQC doesn't really start to shine, however, until you grab an enemy.
Ya.
Press and hold the CQC button to extend your right hand and grab the enemy. Move the left stick at the same time and you can knock the enemy to the ground. If you don't move the left stick, you can get behind the enemy and hold him prisoner. When you're holding an enemy from behind, he'll be almost completely helpless. From there are a number of things you can do. By double-clicking the left stick button,
es con el
you can
triángulo.
slit his throat using your
Ahí
knife.
no, ahí se ha equivocado.
By moving the left
mi
stick
caso.
along with the CQC button, you can knock him to the ground. You can also choke the enemy by tapping the CQC
Correcto.
button rapidly. You can either render him unconscious or kill him outright. It's up to you. If you keep the CQC button pressed, you can use the left stick to move around with the enemy in your grip. You can also press the weapon button to use the weapon you have equipped. The enemy will be hesitant to attack as long as you're using one of their comrades as a human shield. Use that moment of hesitation to attack in first-person view.
Ah, pues mira, eso lo
By
podríamos
pressing the
intentar.
left stick button, you can interrogate the enemy. You might be surprised at the things you can learn. But stay alert. While the enemy is nearly helpless in your grasp, if you give him a chance, he'll turn the tables on you. You can only grab an enemy using CQC when you're using a weapon that will allow you to reach out with your right hand, such as the survival knife, a handgun, or your bare hands. You can't grab the enemy when using weapons that take both hands to use, such as assault rifles, or that prevent you from controlling the enemy with your right hand, like hand grenades. In short, you can't use CQC when equipped with assault rifles or hand grenades.
Pero también se puede
You
golpear
can tell whether
al
a weapon
enemigo
is
con el arma.
compatible with CQC or not by looking at its icon.
Bueno, está muy bien esto explicado.
Snake, this is a solo sneaking operation. There are no medics there to assist you. You'll have to treat your own injuries. Are we clear?
Sí.
I had a little bit of training, but I'm no doctor.
That's where I come in. To treat an injury, first press the start button to open the survival viewer, then select cure to start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Treatment with medicine involves administering oral remedies and serum injections. You'll use this treatment method when you have food poisoning or when you've been bitten by a venomous animal. Surgical treatment involves applying surgical techniques to injured areas. You'll use this method to take care of burns and gunshot wounds. As long as you do everything you're supposed to, your injury should heal completely. Be sure to follow the proper procedures.
Muy bien, paramedic. Te haré caso.
Snake, the food you catch will gradually spoil over
Esto hay que
time.
recordarlo, ¿eh? Es cierto.
Some types of food spoil faster than others. Animal and fish meat goes bad
Sí.
relatively fast, but plants and mushrooms generally last a little longer. Animals won't go bad if you capture them alive, though. You can tell whether food has gone bad or not by looking closely at the icon on the food screen in the survival viewer. So be sure to check the icon before you eat the food. If you eat spoiled food, you'll get sick and end up with a stomachache.
Bueno, esto hay que recordarlo, pero ya lo escuchamos, así que...
Snake, let me explain the enemy's various states of alert.
Ah, mira, esto está guapo.
First of all, there's the state in which the enemy in that area doesn't know that you're there. This is called normal phase. In normal phase, the enemy will follow normal procedures for patrols and other activities. They won't present much of a danger to you. But if they spot an intruder, that means you, they'll attack in an attempt to neutralize you. This is called alert phase.
Exacto.
Alert phase will last until the enemy loses sight of you. Even after they lose sight of you, the enemy will continue to search the area for a while. This is called evasion phase. Evasion phase will last until the enemy exhausts their search effort. Once evasion phase is over, the enemy should return to base. After the search is aborted, the enemy will enter caution phase. In caution phase, enemy soldiers will be more cautious in their patrols, and they'll likely be more difficult to detect. In addition to the regular patrols, there's also a chance that they'll send out additional search units. Keep on your toes.
Vigilaré, chaval. De acuerdo, paramedic.
I see you've
Hola.
caught a European rabbit.
Sí.
The European rabbit is said to have come from the Mediterranean region originally, but nowadays they're found all over the world. They've been used since ancient times as a source of food, so it might be worth catching them. Rabbits are known to eat their own excrement.
Hostia.
They eat their own.
That's right. It's called cecal feces.
Correcto.
When the rabbit eats fiber, the fiber is fermented in the rabbit's appendix, or cecum, and turned into a nutritious substance full of vitamins. The rabbit excretes this substance and then eats it again to absorb the nutrients.
That's a neat trick. I think I'll give it a try.
Snake, rabbits and humans don't work the...
I'm just kidding. You really thought I was going to eat it?
A little, yeah.
Even I wouldn't do that.
I guess not.
But how did those seagull feces taste?
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
¿Cómo te vacilan? Paramedic.
I see you caught a markhor.
El markhor.
The markhor is a kind of wild goat that lives in mountainous areas. It's quite large, so I don't think you'll be able to capture one alive, even with a tranquilizer gun.
All right.
Speaking of which, do you know the origin of the name markhor?
No.
It means snake eater in Persian.
Snake eater.
Lost your appetite?
Not at all. So, how does it taste?
It's supposed to be pretty good.
All right.
Pues estupendo, tío. Tenemos una.
That area is home to the reticulated
Vale, esto ya sí que lo escuchamos. Fuera. Siguiente.
Pattern clothing, face paint, tactical movements. These are the elements of camouflage that will allow you to deceive
Vale,
your
pues este
enemy.
tío yo creo que ya de
To
momento
camouflage yourself.
poco más. Perfecto, sigamos. Hostia, no sabía que markhor significaba eso. Interesante, la verdad. Bueno, a ver, Adam, cómo se nos presenta. Yo no estoy encontrando objetos, No me gusta el camuflaje, tío. Este camuflaje es mejorable, Este 20 yo creo que me ayuda. Y la cara no creo que sea mejor ya. Perfecto. Demasiado tranquilo está todo esto. Oigo pasos. El sonar tampoco me detecta nada, así que... La serpiente debe ser. Necesito comer algo, Pitón. Hostia, qué guapo esto. Esto ocurre a veces. Esto es increíble, tío. Una maravilla, señores. Una maravilla. Pues ocasionalmente nos muestran esta cinemática cada vez que comamos una serpiente. No sé si también ocurre con otro tipo de animales, pero... No hay nadie, creo. No parece que haya nadie, No huele a que haya nadie, porque el sonar me muestra cosas, pero son los animales. Así que... No, Snake. Vale, la rana Kerotán, ahí está, Claro, hasta que no tengamos una pistola se complica. Aquí hay algo, hostia. AK-47. ¡Pum! Tenemos que equipárnosla. Mochila. A ver, aquí. Voy a poner... granadas, tío. Esta de fósforo no sé cómo funciona. Vamos a mirar, que ya tenemos una acá, pero hay que saber utilizarla, tío. A ver, sujétalo en primera persona y apunta con L1. Alterna semiautomática con triángulo. Vale. Apunta con L1. Pues yo le estoy dando el L1 y no apunta, No sé cómo va, No tengo ni idea, tío. O sea, el L1 no me funciona. Según esto, apunta con L1, tío. Pues no sé por qué no me va, tío. ¿Por qué no me va? O sea, en mi caso para apuntar es el L3. L3. Y el L3 también sirve para el sonar. O sea que... O sea, el mismo botón para dos cosas diferentes, tío. Yo creo que aquí hay errores, pero no sé cómo solucionarlos, tío. Pues no sé, tío. Yo también creo que el tema de acercarme al enemigo, al enemigo por detrás, lo tengo jodido, porque a mí siempre me detecta, tío. Y si me detecta... Claro, es complicado apuntarle sin que me detecte, pero bueno. A ver, sube. Que tenemos aquí algo bonito. La caja A. Vale, lo que voy a intentar... ¿Dónde está la caja? Mochila. Intuyo yo que debe estar... aquí, ¿no? Caja de cartona. Esto hay que usarlo 100%. Equípate con ella para usarla. En un costado dice al laboratorio de armas. Vale, voy a ver qué ocurre si llamo a Sigyn, por ejemplo.
Snake.
Hola.
What are you doing?
I'm in a box.
A cardboard box? Why are you...
I don't know, I was just looking at it, and suddenly I got this irresistible urge to get inside. No, not just an urge. More than that. It was my destiny to be here. In the box.
Destiny?
Yeah, and then when I put it on, I suddenly got this feeling of inner peace. I can't put it into words. I feel safe. Like this is where I was meant to be. Like I'd found the key to true happiness.
Sí, señor.
Does any of that make sense?
Not even a little.
You should come inside the box. Then you'll know what I mean.
Man, I don't want to know what you mean. Between you and paramedic, is everyone but me that is hooked up with a major strange?
Increíble.
Yeah, well, anyway, I suppose even that dumbass box might make a decent disguise if you wear it inside a building.
Por supuesto.
Haha. So you're wearing the black camouflage. The black uniform isn't really
Vale,
camouflage.
esto ya nos lo dijo, creo.
It was intended to have a...
Sí, vale, fuera. Paramedic, ¿te gusta que esté dentro de una
There are
caja?
rats living in that
No,
area.
habla de las ratas.
The rats in that
Vale, esto ya nada, fuera. No habla de la caja,
After you grabbed an enemy from behind with seek...
Vale, esto lo mismo, pues nada. Oye, qué bonito, La primera caja, supongo que habrá más porque ponía A. Y si pone A es porque tiene que haber B. Hay que mirar bien, A ver si hay algún objeto por ahí. Nah. Me encanta el sonido de fondo, Pero suena a búho y búhos no hay. Aquí no hay nada, ¿no? En esta esquina. Vale, a ver. Claro, ahora que lo pienso... O sea, el sonar, tío. No lo tengo puesto. Por ahí hay animales. Ahora vamos a mirar... Uy, importantísimo, ir buscando bien. Podemos encontrar objetos curativos. ¡Cara zombie! ¡Hostia! Esto me encanta, Camuflaje, cara. Zombie, ¿dónde estás? Nada, genial, tío. Snake te viene de maravilla. Primero vamos a subir. A ver qué nos encontramos aquí arriba. Aunque no creo que haya nada, la verdad. Hombre, puedo intentar disparar a la urraca. A ver cómo era. Eso, L3. Buena puntería, Snake. Sí, señor. No sé si en el juego existía mira infrarroja en algún momento. No me acuerdo. Hostia, que había otra. Bueno, da igual. Vamos a intentar meternos por aquí a ver si hay algo ahora. Es que con el cuchillo yo creo que si me hubiera intentado acercar no habríamos conseguido nada. Hay muchas ratas. Por aquí sigo sin poder subir, ¿verdad? No se puede. Pulse lo que pulse, no puedo. Bueno, pues hemos averiguado cómo apuntar. Intuyo yo que con el rifle de francotirador en algún momento cuando lo tengamos será igual. Lo siento, bonita. Vale, voy a comer algo. A ver qué como. La ardilla de momento no, tío. Me da curiosidad. Quiero... A lo mejor es muy buena, tío. Esta pone que está bastante buena. Pitón reticuladas, que tenemos muchísimas. Come, come. Tío, buenísima. No puedo yo comerme... No voy a comer más. No voy a comer más porque... Estas son muy buenas, por lo visto. Así que... Ya probaremos o el conejo, la ardilla... El Marcor no creo que lo probemos aún. Ese Marcor tiene pinta de que es letal. Si su traducción es Snake Eater, es que debe de ser letal. Bueno, voy a intentar antes de entrar a la puerta de Sokolov cambiarme el... ¿No puedo saltar por ahí? Creo que no. No recuerdo, pero... Camuflaje. Tío, no hay uno que me dé más, ¿eh? O sea que realmente estamos bien. Curioso. Detector de minas. Hace ruido al detectar claymores en el suelo. Equípate con él para utilizarlo. Hostia. Creo que tengo que equipármela por aquí. Voy a quitarme la pastilla de la muerte falsa de momento y la píldora resucita. No puedo, esta no sé por qué. El puro fuera. Medicina pro vida. Está lloviendo, tío. Detector de minas. No creo que haya ninguna mina cerca, la verdad. Nah, no hay nada. Voy a dejar el sonar. Uf. Sospechoso. Vale, ya estamos aquí dentro. ¿Ahora qué? ¿Y si me intento esconder? A ver, necesito entender qué hay que hacer. Cero.
Adam won't show up if you're being pursued.
Ya,
by
pero
the
no me
enemy.
está siguiendo.
Before you go to rendezvous with Adam, make sure you haven't been seen by the enemy. Meet up with him in normal phase. Got it?
Sí, pero no aparece, amigo.
Food poisoning is caused by eating poisonous food.
Vale, habrá que ponerse el suero. Esto ya lo sabemos. Voy a quitármelo todo, a ver. A mí me suena que había que hacer algo especial, pero no recuerdo el qué, tío. Que llevo sin jugar a esto de... No sé, 10 años. O sea, hace mucho que no juego. Voy a salir. Vale, había que salir. Ese era el truco, tío. ¡Ja!
Sorry I'm late.
Cut the engine. They'll hear us.
Are you the agent they sent?
Are you Adam? I thought you were supposed to be a man.
Adam couldn't make it.
All right, say the password. Who are the Patriots? Who are the Patriots? Answer me! Trapped.
Get down!
Ojalá yo tuviera esa puntería.
There is your answer.
Joder, ¿cómo aprovecha Snake? Madre mía.
This wasn't part of the plan. What happened to Adam?
What's your code name?
It's Snake.
Snake, huh? Well, I'm Eva. Are you here to tempt me?
What happened to Adam?
Colonel Volgan is a very suspicious man. He decided Adam wasn't the right person for this mission.
And you were?
Yes,
Why?
because I can do things he can't.
I heard you used to be a codebreaker for the NSA.
I was. 4 years ago, I defected to the Soviet Union with Adam.
Mauser military. The broom handle.
It packs quite a punch. Nice to have when you're on a bike.
You held it sideways and used the muzzle jump to create a horizontal sweep. That was impressive.
Bet you've never seen that technique in the West.
It's imitation, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a Chinese Type 17 pistol. Around here, even that's hard to come by. Don't worry, though. The one I've got for you is American-made.
Y con silenciador, qué bonito.
45, huh? Incredible.
Do you like it?
The feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. The slide's been reinforced, and the interlock with the frame is tightened for added precision. The sight system is original too. The thumb safety is extended to make it easier on the finger. A long type trigger with non-slip grooves. A ring hammer. The base of the trigger guard's been filed down for a higher grip. And not only that, nearly every part of this gun has been expertly crafted and customized. Where'd you get something like this?
I grabbed it from a Western munitions armory. It probably used to belong to one of your officers, and there are more where that came from. You had this with you, didn't you? Better take this too.
What's that?
A disguise to make you look like a scientist.
A disguise?
Yes. You're here to rescue Sokolov, right?
Sokolov's still safe then.
Yes. He's being forced to continue his work on the Shagohod.
Where?
At the lab. They've got a whole army of scientists there developing new weapons. Security is tight, but if you disguise yourself as a scientist, you might be able to sneak in.
Can we get Sokolov out of there?
We'll see, won't we?
Tell me how to get to the lab.
The safest way in is from the rear. First, you'll need to head north through the jungle. You'll come to a heliport used for shipping materials. Pass the heliport and continue north, and there will be a large crevice. Descend into that area, and you'll reach a cave. Move through the cave, and you will arrive at a mangrove swamp. After the swamp, there'll be a warehouse. Make your way through the warehouse, and you'll come out just south of the lab.
Got it.
And just what are you doing there?
In close-range combat, a knife can sometimes be more useful than a gun. By doing this, I'll be able to hold a knife at the same time and still keep the gun steady. That way, I can instantly switch between a gun battle and a knife fight. Right, let's get going.
Wait a minute.
What now?
You must be tired. Why don't you take a little rest?
I'll be fine.
You'll never make it in your condition. It's a jungle out there. There's still an hour before dawn. It's dangerous to be out in the jungle at night without a guide.
What about you?
I have to get back. I can't be gone for too long. They'll start to suspect something. Don't worry. I'll keep you updated over the radio.
That's it?
My orders are to provide you with information, nothing more. You look disappointed. All right, then. I'll do something special for you. I'll stand watch until dawn. Now be a good boy and lie down. What's the matter?
I don't know you well enough to trust you.
How well do you have to know me to trust me?
I don't know if I can trust anybody.
Gonna get that?
She's right, Snake. You should get some sleep. Although in your condition, you really ought to be back in the ICU. Whenever you save the game and quit, you'll go to sleep. Sleeping allows you to gain back stamina naturally. Depending on how long you sleep, you may also recover naturally from sickness and injury. When you're tired and hurt, the best thing to do is just get some sleep. So do yourself a favor and take a nap. Doctor's orders, okay?
Yeah, okay.
No recordaba eso. O sea, sí sabía que se recuperaba la salud porque lo leímos ya en un códec, pero que te podías curar de algo más incluso según el tiempo, eso ya es otro nivel, ¿eh? Madre mía, Kojima, hazme un hijo. Vale, a ver. Pues ya está, ya hemos guardado. Estupendo. Joder, sí señor. Ahora volveré a guardar, cuando terminen todas las escenas. Aunque no sé dónde me dejarán, la verdad.
What's the matter?
We're surrounded. I see 4 of them.
Donde caben 4, caben 8.
It's the Ocelot unit.
Joder, ¿pero esto qué es?
Let's get out of here. Hurry.
Cada 2x3 me están indicando eso, tío.
Don't forget your gear. Here, give me a hand. We can use this to get to the basement. Damn it, Ocelot. I'll get past them on my bike. I'll call you later.
Okay, I'll keep them busy. Huh?
Don't go dying on me now.
Hostia, Snake, hasta un beso te ha dado. ¿Esto qué es? Eres un levantapasiones, Snake. Perfecto, pues ¿ahora qué? Ahora estamos solos ante el peligro. Primero, silenciador, de acuerdo. Vamos a llamar porque aquí seguro que hay cositas, ¿eh? A ver, Mayor Zero.
It appears you've been completely surrounded.
Sin duda.
Yeah, so I gathered.
If EVA is to escape from there,
Right. I'll have to take them all out.
Snake, you must defeat all the Ocelots. That's the only way to ensure EVA's safe escape, as well as your own. But you're up against a lot of them. Don't try to take them head on. Approach them without being seen and dispatch them one by one. And don't forget to use your camouflage.
Claro, con lo que puedo hacer eso, que yo me acerco a uno y automáticamente el juego me detecta.
Snake, they're conducting a sweep of the inside of the factory. Sooner or later they'll come to your room. If you're just standing there doing nothing,
Tengo que
they'll
salir,
find
vale.
you and they will kill you. Get out of that room quickly. Use the trapdoor that Eva showed you.
Por la trampilla, pero ¿qué botones de pulsar?
Snake, don't try to engage the ocelots head on.
He de
There are
vigilar.
too many of them. If they surround you, you'll be finished. Use your camouflage to approach them without being seen, and take them out.
Vale, esto es lo mismo. A ver qué dice paramedic.
When you have a serious injury, like a gunshot wound or a burn, your maximum life will decrease. So if you're seriously hurt, go into the survival viewer immediately and use cure to treat it.
Bueno, algo que ya sabíamos.
You run a higher risk of getting seriously injured if you're hit by an attack at close range. If you're engaging in proximity combat, use caution. If you get seriously injured, go into the survival viewer and
Vale, esto ya... Voy a ver si...
Those rifles the ocelots are using aren't AK-47s, are they?
No. They kind of look like AKMs, but they're different.
Different how?
They've got steel handguards and vertical type foregrips, and the muzzle suppressor is bigger.
A carbine version of the AKM, huh? Hungary has a unique modified version of the AKM called the AMD-63. I heard something before about them making a prototype carbine version of that. My guess is they probably imported some of those prototypes. If they're using a carbine version of the AMD-63 like I'm thinking, then they could be a serious threat. Those things handle better than the AK-47s, especially at close range. And don't forget, the ocelots are elites. They're gonna be better shots than normal Spetsnaz, and you're that much more likely to get seriously hurt. Keep your eyes open.
Ya de vigilar.
Heads up, Snake. Looks like some of those guys are equipped with M63s. The M63 is an American-made light machine gun. It's got more firepower than you might think. It can punch through a wall too, so watch out.
Estamos jodidos.
You said some of them are using shotguns? Those shotguns are M37s. They're an American model designed for field combat. Not all that dangerous from a distance, but at close range, they'll tear you to shreds. Be careful. Looks like some of them are using Scorpions.
Scorpions.
The Scorpion is a Czechoslovakian submachine gun. They don't have the stopping power of a rifle, but they're easier to handle and lethal at a medium range. If you eat more than a couple of rounds, it's not gonna be pretty. Don't fool around.
Iré con cuidado.
Snake, watch out for those grenades they're tossing. You'll be injured pretty bad if you get caught in the blast. You could get burned too. If somebody throws a grenade at you, get away from it and hit the deck. Snake, if you fire that thing without a suppressor attached, the bang and the muzzle flash will give your position away to the enemy. Attach a suppressor and you won't have to worry about all that. To attach a suppressor, open the weapon window and press the enter button.
Correcto.
Snake, they're using stun grenades. Watch out!
Stun grenades?
Yeah. It's a new weapon they invented themselves. It uses an intense blast of light and sound to knock out the enemy temporarily. If you're looking at the light from one of those things when it goes off, you can kiss your optics goodbye. If one gets tossed your way, turn around quick. Looks like some of them are using Scorpion.
Vale, fuera. Vamos a guardar la partida, pero de forma buena, tío.
You going to save?
Por supuesto, es necesario. Voy a guardar en la misma ranura, porque al final lo único que ha pasado es que hemos visto una escena más y ya está. Por lo tanto, guardo aquí y punto. Venga, a tope, sin miedo. Primero hay que saber cómo abrir la trampilla. A ver el botón. Vale, fuera. Botón. Vale, ¿qué botones? Con el triángulo, menos mal. Menos mal que lo he averiguado. Primero el camuflaje ahora, que yo no me fío de este camuflaje ni de coña. Tenemos aquí uno mejor, el resplandor. Y a ver qué más hay por aquí. Vale, más 20 creo que es lo mejor. Bueno, y a partir de aquí, vamos a ver, son 4, ¿no? Son 8, pone, vale. Pulsa cuadrado para apuntar y suelta para disparar. Sí, bueno, sí, ya lo sé. Tío, estoy viendo ya en la pantalla un bicho, tío, un bichito. ¿Qué cojones? ¿A quiénes disparan, tío? ¿No tengo el sonar? Sí, sí lo tengo. Me acaban de detectar por el sonar, ¿verdad? ¿Veis? El sonar es peligroso, tío. El sonar no lo podemos utilizar. Detector de movimiento. Vale, entonces... Tío, no me convence aquí el camuflaje este, ¿eh? Tío, es que... no. Ya estáis viendo que no. Ese camuflaje aquí... es caca, tío. Una auténtica caca. Vale, voy a quitar... Hostia, se lo están pasando bien, ¿eh? Precaución. Precaución, señores.
What? Not here? He's not here? Keep looking. Move!
No me gusta. Oigo algo. Tío, ¿por qué automáticamente me estás apuntando, capullo?
Where did that come from?
No sé, tío, pero... Hay errores en... Vale, enemigos 7. Pero no...
Where'd he go?
Vale, bien. Mierda.
What? I see him.
¿Qué? ¿Quién me ha visto? Sí, claro, tus huevos me han visto, cerdo. Ven aquí, hijo de perra. Me ha visto, dice. Eso no te lo crees ni tú. Bueno, estamos practicando la puntería, pero... Hostia, siento que el joystick se me mueve demasiado rápido, tío. O sea, cuando quiero apuntar ligeramente no puedo, tío. Bueno, no sé quién me ha visto, sinceramente. O sea, si yo aquí alrededor mío no he visto a nadie, pero bueno. Me han visto, vale. A lo mejor estaba arriba. De acuerdo. No vamos mal. Pero esto no está decidido aún. Es que me he levantado aquí. Y aquí no había nadie, tío. ¿Quién me ha visto, tío? Ah, ven aquí, cerdo.
Where did he go?
Venga, cáete, joder. Buffy de cabeza, como me gusta a mí. Sí, señor. Buena caída. A ver si nos dan algo, Claro, pero estoy viendo que... los estamos matando, ¿no? Claro, yo no quería matarlos, realmente, pero... Tampoco vamos a estar media hora intentando dormirlos a todos. Lo importante aquí, silenciador. Eso sí que es importante. Para ir sumando silenciador. Perfecto, me sirve. Aquí lo ideal sería pillar altura, así que vamos a subir ahora. A ver si localizamos. Comida, ¿qué comida es esa, tío? Calorie mate, yo creo que es una calorie. Oh, sutura, genial, gracias, chaval. Solo dan un objeto, ¿no? Perfecto. Vale, vamos a ver qué como. Comida. Voy a comer, me la voy a jugar con algo el conejo enano. Hostia, pues esto estaba potente, Ración. ¿Cómo que ración? O sea, ya conocemos las raciones. Esto puede estar potente, por algo lo tienen estos ocelots. De acuerdo, interesante. Si lo tienen los ocelots debe ser buenísimo, tío. Aquí arriba... peligro, Tío, tengo un bichito aquí. Me está tocando los huevos. ¿Dónde coño están? Oigo algo, pero no lo veo, tío. Detector de movimiento. Por lo visto no hay nadie aquí. Bueno, vamos a tener que tirarnos. Ah, ya veo uno ahí, Lo acabo de ver. Claro. Me la voy a jugar. Vale, aquí hay uno. Y el otro no sé dónde estará, pero... Me cago en tu madre. Hijo de perra. Ven aquí, hijo de perra, tío. No te voy a ahogar, tío. Me acaba de joder ahí. Es que te detectan súper rápido, tío. En cuanto te acercas. No he tenido mucha suerte ahí, que digamos. Pero bueno, es lo que hay. Cura. Sufres la herida de un disparo, sangrando. Venda, vale. Venda, desinfectante, astringe y el cuchillo. A ver si en algún momento vemos la escena de extracción de la bala, tío. Falta uno, tío. 30% aquí no me gusta, ¿eh? Hay que hacer malabares, señores, malabares. No me convence esta, es que esta... Uf. Bueno, a ver. Tiene que estar el otro por ahí, tío. Este cuidado que se puede despertar, no lo hemos matado. Detector de movimientos, a lo mejor es lo que ha hecho que me detecte. Quizá, Tampoco estoy detectando yo a nadie. Suena, ¿veis el sonido? Está ahí. Está ahí. Ya lo he visto, creo. Está por ahí. Está por aquí. Diría yo que está por aquí. Uf, a ver cómo lo pillo yo ahora. A ver, date la vuelta, coño. Joder, tío, pero solo me he acercado. Me cago en tu madre, cabrón. No, si me pilla él, ven aquí, hijo de perra. A ti te desembucho. O sea, te... Venga, dime algo más. Cerdo. No, no te va a soltar. Pabila. Bueno, pues ya está. Lamentable, ¿eh? Pero bueno, tenemos medicina. No sé qué tipo de medicina será, pero bueno. Aquí cada disparo es una cagada. Pero claro, tío, es que me pillan, me pillan. ¿Qué coño voy a hacer? A ver, venda, desinfectante. Ya me sé hasta de memoria esto. Lamentable, ¿eh? El camuflaje ahora ya da igual, pero bueno. ¿Ahora qué? Abrid. ¿Cómo coño salgo de aquí? Y bueno, ya me he deshecho de todos. Compañeros, ¿qué opináis?
I see you've got yourself a ration.
Efectivamente.
Rations are portable meals carried by Soviet soldiers.
I've heard some nasty stories about how they taste.
It looks like the rumors are true.
Great.
Hey, you should be grateful. Those things are designed to last. No matter how long you keep a ration, it'll never go bad. And they're surprisingly good for you, too.
I'd take a snake over this any day, even if it's a little rotten.
You are hopeless.
Bueno, importante saber que no se estropean.
Snake, whatever happens to you, make sure you leave a descendant, okay?
Are you saying you want to have my baby?
No. I'm saying that in the 21st century, the genes of soldiers like you are going to be in high demand.
Genes?
Uh-huh. Remember when Watson and Crick discovered the double helix structure of DNA back in 1953?
Ah, no.
You know, they won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for it the year before last. Of course, you have to feel sorry for Pauling and Franklin. They were researching the exact same thing.
Sorry, I don't follow.
Inside every living creature are little blueprints called genes. Through the union of the sperm and egg cells, these blueprints are transformed and inherited by the next generation. That's why parents and children resemble each other. The concept of genes was first proposed over 100 years ago by Mendel, but he didn't know what they were exactly. For a while, it was thought that chromosomes were composed not of deoxyribonucleic acid, but of proteins called polypeptides. Later, it was shown that deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, was a biological macromolecule. Then 11 years ago, Watson and Crick discovered that DNA had a double helix structure.
Yeah, this is all fascinating stuff, but what exactly does it have to do with me?
The inherent characteristics of any given individual are determined by his or her genes. By duplicating a set of superior genes, a separate body with the same set of characteristics, a clone, can be created.
But genes don't control a person's fate.
That's true, but having an offspring that's genetically identical to the parent is more efficient, right? You can expect better results that way.
More efficient? You can't mass-produce human beings.
Maybe, but now that we know the true nature of genes, human cloning is that much closer to reality. Nuclear transplanting is already theoretically possible, so one day...
My genes are going to be a valuable commodity.
Exactly.
They'd never let that happen.
Just think, even if your body dies, you survive and go on to bigger and better accomplishments. If you think about it, it's kind of an honor.
Does that kind of technology seriously appeal to you?
Well, I am a doctor. I can't condone it on moral grounds, but I'm fascinated by the possibilities. Especially when I see such an excellent specimen as yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks for the compliment, but it doesn't make me feel any better.
Don't be so glum. It's not like it's going to happen anytime soon. We'll just have to wait and see.
Está hablando ya del proyecto Les Enfants Terribles. Sin duda, tío. O sea, cuidado porque hay referencias. Creo que de esto ya habló, ¿eh? Sí, de esto ya habló, correcto. Y dice lo mismo, fuera.
First enter the cave through the crevice. Eva said it was to the north, so
de acuerdo, pues me voy a dirigir al norte.
First enter the...
Vale, pues habrá otro camino por ahí. A ver, mapa. Sí, debe ser el norte. Hostia, ya no puedo volver. De acuerdo. Está interesante saber que no puedo volver. Por lo tanto, las ranas Kerotán se van a quedar ahí de momento. Bueno, no sé si habrá algún objeto. Hemos dicho que no había nada, ¿no? Creo que ya lo que había lo hemos pillado. Por lo tanto... Huele a que ya no hay nada, ¿eh? Efectivimentus. Esta rana Kerotán se va a quedar ahí de momento. Yo fuera de grabación intentaré ir pillando ranas Kerotán. ¿Qué suena, tío? Ya me han dado todo lo que tenían que darme, creo. ¿Qué cojones? Un momento, estos son fideos. Esto indiscutiblemente hay que pillarlo. A ver, la ardilla voladora. Bueno, pues mira, hemos hecho bien en comernos esta ardilla. Sopa, tío. Todo lo que sea sopa, señores, 100% es la prioridad, ¿de acuerdo?
I've been waiting for this moment. That's it. That's the stance. I don't think so. What? A female spy? This bitch is wearing perfume. Stay where you are. I've had enough of your judo.
I see you've got yourself a single-action army.
That's right. There'll be no accidents this time.
You call that an accident? Well, it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't been showing off.
What did you say?
It's a nice gun, I'll give you that. But the engraving gives you no tactical advantage whatsoever. Unless you were planning to auction it off as a collector's item.
Vaciladísimo.
You're forgetting one more very basic thing. You don't have what it takes to kill me.
We'll see.
That thing only carries 6 shots. The Makarov carries 8. You have to get a feel for how many you have left. This is a high-class weapon. It's not meant for shooting people.
Damn! This isn't over yet.
Don't.
Why?
He's still young.
You'll regret stopping me. Damn it! I've got to get back before he does.
¡Qué auténtica bestia! Sí, señor, Eva. Madre mía, Eva. Sí, señor. Mi nueva heroína. De acuerdo, pues... Suenan cosas de fondo que no sé qué son, pero es que me parece increíble, tío. Todo me parece increíble. Absolutamente todo. Un placer, Rasbet. Pero toca a partir de aquí. Y lo vamos a dejar ya. Tjornig Prut. Es que vaya nombres, Hasta de los nombres estoy enamorado. Perfecto. Pues aquí lo voy a dejar, Antes de dejarlo, vamos a preparar un poco el plan, porque de verdad que este uniforme aquí no pinta nada, Este es el que tiene mejor pinta ahora mismo. Vale, entonces... Vamos bien, vamos bien. Lo estoy disfrutando, señores. Supongo que empezaremos desde aquí, pero vamos a guardar algo de última hora.
Looks like you've got rid of all the ocelots.
Yeah.
¿Ah, sí?
Now proceed with the rescue of Sokolov. According to Eva, you should start by going to the crevice to the north and...
Can we trust her?
What's that?
Eva is with the KGB, isn't she? Can I really believe what she says? How do I know she won't double-cross me?
There are no guarantees in espionage, Snake, only calculated guesses. At this point in time, the KGB stands nothing to gain by stabbing us in the back.
So you're saying I can trust her?
I'm saying the chance that she'll betray you is low. Of course, we checked the route she gave you against our own data. It looks like a pretty solid infiltration route. It makes good use of weak spots in the enemy's defenses. You shouldn't have any problems.
Perfecto.
Follow the route Eva showed you and proceed with the mission.
Roger.
De acuerdo.
First, enter the cave through the crevice. Eva said it was to the north, so head that way.
Hay que ir a la cueva, señores.
That swamp seems pretty deep. It's probably deep enough to dive underwater and swim around. Press the crawl button when you're swimming on the surface to dive underwater. The controls when you're underwater are quite different from when you're on land. The left stick controls the direction you're facing. Press up, down, left or right to turn in that direction. Press the CQC button or the crawl button to move forward. Each button press will move you one stroke forward. Press the button repeatedly to swim faster.
Intentaré recordar.
You can also press the action button to surface in an emergency. While you're swimming, you can use the right stick to look in a different direction without changing the direction you're going. Snake, you'll be helpless if a crocodile attacks you in the water.
Correcto.
You can't see behind you when you're swimming. So if you're in a crocodile-infested swamp, keep an eye on your 6. Also, by using your sensors, you should be able to detect crocodiles before they get too close.
Aquí se supone que se puede obtener el gorro de
Eva was right
cocodrilo.
when she said that operating in an unknown jungle at night is extremely dangerous. In my former outfit, the SAS, we'd always be sure to set up camp before sunset and wait until daybreak before setting out again. Being able to stay in that abandoned factory made things a lot easier for you. You ought to be thanking Eva.
Gracias, Eva. Muy amable.
Major, what's this temptation Eva was talking about?
In the Old Testament of the Bible, Eve was seduced by a snake into tasting the fruit of knowledge. By eating the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve disobeyed God's command and were cast out from the Garden of Eden. Thus, it was the snake who led mankind into original sin.
Come to think of it, I did break a rib in the virtuous mission. Maybe that's where Eva came from.
But the one who tempted Adam into eating the forbidden fruit was Eve. You may be working together, but she's still a KGB operative. Don't let your guard down.
I don't intend to.
Interesante
Your
paralelismo.
number one priority in this mission is rescuing Sokolov. Eva said he is in the lab, so head over there.
Voy para allá.
Right.
Do you remember how to get to the lab?
You mean what Eva told me?
Yes.
Of course I do.
All right, repeat it for me.
Major, do you think I'd forget something like that?
Let's hear it then.
First I head north.
Hmm.
And then I'll come to a crevice.
And then?
And then...
All right, let's go over this one more time.
Lamentable.
First, head north through the jungle. Enter the cave through the crevice to the north. Follow the cave to the end and you'll come out in an aqueduct surrounded by mangrove. Follow the aqueduct to the north and you should arrive at a warehouse. Climb out of the water and enter the warehouse. After you've infiltrated the warehouse, pass through it to the north. Then you'll emerge in the woods again. The lab will be directly to the north. Are we clear now?
Yeah.
Snake.
I got it. Basically, I just head north, right?
Para tranquilidad.
Snake, I heard you got a scientist disguise from Eva.
Yeah.
Go to uniform on the camouflage screen and choose scientist to disguise yourself as a scientist.
Scientist, huh?
But it won't do you any good to go around the jungle wearing a scientist disguise.
No one would be that stupid.
You're right. No one would think of going around the jungle in a scientist disguise. If they did, they'd have to be a fool. No, more than a fool. A complete dumbass. Don't you think so, Snake?
Yeah. Major,
No me
tell me a
tientes.
little bit more about the space race.
In 1957, the Soviet Union succeeded in launching their first artificial satellite, Sputnik, into orbit. Having been beaten to the chase by the Soviets, the US government accelerated its own space program in an effort to catch up. The following year, the space development programs of the various service branches were united to form the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. That same year, the Mercury program was launched with the goal of putting a man into space. 7 candidates were chosen from the military as the first astronauts. These were the men with the right stuff. But as you know, it was a Soviet cosmonaut, Yuri Gagarin, who made the first successful manned spaceflight 3 years ago. NASA's first successful ballistic flight came 1 month after Gagarin's mission, with the Freedom 7 carrying Alan Shepard into space. After that, with America still lagging behind the Soviets in orbital flight, President Kennedy made a momentous decision. That America would put a man on the moon before the end of the decade.
Yeah, I heard that speech, but a lot of guys I knew weren't real happy about it. They said no one was going to make them go on a mission to blow up some damn moon base.
But rocket research and missile research are closely related. Imagine, if you will, a Soviet Union able to send wave after wave of nuclear missiles raining down on Washington from a base on the surface of the moon. Even if that's still a long way from reality, if we lose the initiative, we may never get it back. We're left with no choice but to keep moving forward one step at a time. The Gemini program, launched 2 years ago, represents the initial step towards establishing a moon base. And yet, I don't want to call President Kennedy a liar, but I simply can't imagine that in 6 years man will have reached the moon.
I don't know. I never even thought we'd make it up into space. I guess it all depends on whether you have the will to make it happen.
Perhaps you're right.
Sigue siendo objeto de duda.
Snake, the Mark 22 is a tranquilizer gun. Use it to put enemies to sleep without harming them. The speed with which the tranquilizer takes effect depends on the point of impact on the enemy. If a target is hit on the arm or leg, the tranquilizer won't take effect immediately, but a target hit on the head will drop like a fly. If you want to take an enemy out in a flash, aim for the head.
Hasta en eso ha tenido detalle. Es que hay detalles en todo.
During a run to commence a roll.
Correcto.
For a brief interval, you'll perform a jump which can be used to knock down enemies.
Eso es efectivo, la verdad.
In contrast to the training you've done so far, you can use rolling to jump waist-high objects. However, remember that rolling consumes more stamina than standard running.
Por eso estoy cazando conejos.
Snake, remember that the suppressor is a limited commodity.
Efectivamente.
I know. No suppressor lasts forever.
Exactly. When the suppressor's durability wears away, it breaks beyond repair. See the weapon icon to check the suppressor's present level of durability.
Hay que vigilar con eso, ¿eh? No podemos quedarnos sin silenciador.
Remove the suppressor from your gun if you want to make it last. Select the weapon that the suppressor is on with the weapon window button, and press the enter button to attach or detach the suppressor.
Muy bien, chaval.
Regulate usage of the suppressor based on the situation. Snake, you'll be helpless if a crocodile attacks you in the water. You can't see behind you when you're swimming.
Vale. A ver, paramedic.
You got some instant noodles, huh?
Por supuesto.
Instant noodles?
Uh-huh. It was invented in Japan just recently. Add some hot water and it's ready to eat. It's cheap and can be stored for a long time. And besides, it's delicious. It's like a miracle food.
Wow.
Speaking of which...
Yeah?
Are you going to eat that?
Por supuesto.
I was planning on it, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Is there some reason I shouldn't?
No, that's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean?
I was just going to say that if you weren't going to eat it, you should bring it back to me. I've always wanted to try some.
Whatever.
¿Qué ronroneas, Snake?
Snake, be careful. That area is inhabited by coral
Serpientes corales.
snakes.
Creo que de estas no he hablado.
The coral snake is a venomous snake that originally hails from
Estas
the
son
Americas.
peligrosas.
Its venom is a very potent neurotoxin, so don't let it bite you. If you do get bitten, go into the survival viewer right away and use Cure to neutralize the poison with a serum injection. The colorful red and black patterns on the coral snake are a warning sign. Apparently, the bright flashy colors and pattern let other animals know that it carries a deadly poison that keeps them from attacking. There are many animals that mimic the colors of known poisonous animals as a defense. See, by mimicking other poisonous creatures, they increase their chances of survival. There is another non-poisonous snake called the milk snake that borrows its coloring from the coral snake.
Uh-huh.
You're not even listening, are you?
No.
¿Cómo que no? Snake.
Okay, we'll talk about something you're interested in then.
The taste?
Yes.
Ha.
It says here that coral snakes are pretty good in a snaky kind of way.
A snaky kind of way, huh?
Interesante.
Snake, if you or one of your comrades is wounded,
Esto creo que ya lo leímos.
what do you usually do?
Bueno, escuchamos.
I call for a medic.
What if there's no medic nearby?
I don't even want to think about that.
Think about it.
That's my worst nightmare. Any soldier can perform basic first aid, but it takes a specialist
Sí,
to
esto creo que ya
perform
lo
more
escuchamos.
complicated procedures. I know a lot of guys who'd still be alive today if they'd had access to a medic.
Me too. So I got to thinking, wouldn't it be great if we could parachute medics into the front lines where they're needed most?
Pero no
You
estoy
bet.
seguro.
That's why you're called paramedic.
Paramedic, increíble.
Yeah. With a unit like that, we could save a couple of lives, huh?
No,
No?
not a couple. We could save many lives.
Thanks. I think the Army needs a unit like that. And if no one else will do it, I'm going to create one myself.
Bien hecho,
Sounds
paramedic.
like a plan.
Will you help me?
Count on it.
Qué bonito, por favor.
That area is inhabited by the milk snake.
Vale, también habla ahora
The
de
milk
las
snake
falsas.
closely resembles the coral snake, but it's actually not venomous. Even so, you'll still take damage if it bites you, so don't get too close.
Vigilaré.
So is there a way to tell the difference between a milk snake and a coral snake?
It's pretty difficult. They really do look almost exactly alike. I guess if I had to pick something, I'd say it's that the milk snake is much less aggressive.
Okay.
Ah, I just thought of a better way. You're going to love this.
What?
Eat it.
Eat it.
Yeah. The guide says milk snakes don't taste very good.
Is that right? But if I've already caught and eaten it, what does it matter which kind of snake it was?
It doesn't, does it? Shoot, I thought I had a good idea.
Qué bonito, de verdad, qué bonito.
Snake, do you know what epinephrine is?
What's with the questions?
Well, do you?
No,
Also known as adrenaline?
never heard of it.
Really?
Nope.
I have.
Good for you.
Do you want to hear about it?
Not really.
Oh, I think you should hear about it.
Here we go.
So, epinephrine is a type of hormone. It's secreted from the adrenal glands in high-stress situations, like when you're exercising or you're under pressure. The epinephrine is released into the bloodstream and stimulates special receptor cells on various organs throughout the body. This causes the heart to beat faster, the blood vessels to constrict, and the respiratory passages to expand. It also raises blood pressure. You ever notice how you're faster and stronger than normal when you're under stress? That's because of epinephrine, and when you're bleeding, it...
Paramedic.
Yeah,
Is there a point to all of this?
of course. In the alert phase, your body secretes epinephrine, and so your stamina won't be depleted as fast.
Uh-huh.
There. Good thing I told you, huh?
As always.
Estaría todo el día escuchando Codex, tío.
Snake, that area is inhabited by the poison
Hostia,
dart frog.
otra rana.
The poison dart frog is native to the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. They normally grow between 2 and 5 centimeters in length, but for some reason the ones in that area seem to be much bigger than that. Poison dart frogs are known to carry a potent neurotoxin called pamiliotoxin. Long ago, people used the poison to coat their arrows for hunting. Watch out, because if you eat one, you'll get food poisoning.
Hostia, a ver si me acuerdo yo ahora.
That area is inhabited by Indian
De esto
gavials.
sí que nos han hablado
The
ya.
Indian gavial is a large crocodile native to India.
Vigilaré. De acuerdo, siguiente. ¿Algo más?
Hey, Snake, remember back at the abandoned factory when you whittled the grip of that 45 down?
Yeah,
I've never heard of a customization like that before. Why the grip?
to fit it with a knife.
A knife? You're gonna keep the knife and the gun both at the ready?
That's the idea.
Why would you want to do that?
Sometimes a knife works better in close proximity encounters. So I equip both at the same time. That way I can switch back and forth in an instant.
Badass. So that's that.
CQC.
Increíble, chaval.
Snake, you said Eva said her Mauser was a Type 17, right?
Yeah, what about it?
That model was produced in the 1920s in a weapons lab in the Shaanxi province in China. The cartridge part sticks out lower than the original to accommodate 45 caliber rounds. The barrel and chamber are a little bit thicker too. But most telling of all, it's got Chinese characters engraved on both sides of the frame like you saw. And that firing stance Eva was talking about where you hold the gun horizontally, that's a trademark of the Chinese. Just like you were saying, when you're firing in full auto mode, the muzzle jump effect gives you a horizontal strafing motion. They say it's especially deadly in indoor and close-range mop-up actions. The
Increíble.
Japanese called it bandit shooting and used to dread it. Makes you wonder where she learned to shoot like that.
¿Quién sabe?
You know that army motorcycle that Eva was riding? That's a replica of a German model.
A replica?
Yeah. After World War II, the Soviets confiscated an entire assembly line from a German motorcycle factory, machines and all.
And then they took it back with them and started producing replicas?
Exactly. Originally, that motorcycle was designed to be used with a sidecar attached. That means it's got enough power to drag a 200-plus pound sidecar around.
So that's how she could pull off all those crazy stunts.
Uh-huh. Of course, it takes a lot of skill to be able to control that much power. That Eva chick is something else.
¿Hay algo que no haga bien, Eva?
Wearing the leaf pattern camouflage, are you?
Sí, ahora el de las
Leaf
hojas.
pattern is a forest camouflage created to provide cover in woodland areas. Now that our involvement in Vietnam looks set to expand, they're thinking about adopting it for official use. It'll help you blend in, especially well when you're hiding in the bushes.
Perfecto, pues acabó. Vamos a guardar.
Do you want to save?
Por supuesto, querida paramedic. Vamos a guardar en una nueva ranura. No sé cuántas hay en total, ¿eh? Tengo ni puñetera idea, pero yo voy a estar guardando en diferentes ranuras. Yo creo que es imprescindible.
Hey, Snake, have you ever seen Forbidden Planet?
No, can't say I have.
It's about this expedition that goes to the planet Altair 4 in an ultra-fast spaceship. When they arrive, they meet the survivor of the last expedition, Dr. Morbius. Dr. Morbius was exploring the planet along with his daughter Altera and the versatile Robbie the robot. Ignoring the doctor's warnings, the expedition team is suddenly attacked by an invisible creature called the monster from the id. The special effects they used for the science stuff were really neat. I wish I had a robot like Robbie that could make anything I wanted it to.
I'm more interested in that invisible monster. If I were invisible, I wouldn't have to bother hiding or wearing camouflage.
Maybe someday you'll be able to turn invisible.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
Seguramente incluya en el vídeo de Easter eggs este tipo de códex. Porque... no sé, está guapo. Así que yo de momento me despido y no me enrollo más. Disfrutad de vuestros días, pero recordad sobre todo de vuestras noches. ¡Hasta la próxima!